What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy show. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Oi, Greg.
Look at me straight on. Okay. Earlier today on Colin Moriarty, I commented on your hair.
I fluffed it up a little bit.
So what? So you put some mousse in it and like whoop, whoop, like teased it up, or what is that?
No, just sometimes like I use a pomade. It's like a medium grade pomade.
Sure.
And I'll run it through my hair. And sometimes when I put a little too much in, I gotta wait for it to dry a bit.
Sure.
And then
you fluff?
throughout the day, I'll go through and fluff it up like this. I'll fluff it up like this. Just fluff.
Oh God.
You're getting okay. Well,
Damn.
that's too much. That's too much. Now the waves
Too
are
high.
You gotta get a little, just a little.
I like it.
Yeah, a little ball.
You're doing a lot of little vol.
Little vol.
Over here, the product Long Island, Colin Moriarty.
It's good to be with you today.
Good to be here with you today. How are you?
I don't think you said my last name right, but
I rolled it all together in a fast way. Colin Moriarty.
It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Who cares? We're all going to die eventually.
We are.
And over there, the pure one, Tim Gettys.
Let Tim host.
How's everybody doing?
I'm pretty excited.
I'm good.
Why are you excited?
We're recording this. We're in a time machine for this.
We are in a time machine. E3
we're recording
is
this before
imminent.
E3. But
Yeah.
yesterday, I finished my E3 wardrobe update.
Oh!
So I'm pretty excited about this.
I got some new shirts from
Gonna
Nordstrom's.
debut a whole bunch of new shit. I did not. I got something from Vans.
Yeah?
Got another
Oh, you
thing
get those
from
Nintendo
Vans.
shoes?
I got one Nintendo shirt.
Okay.
It's obnoxious, all over print.
Sure.
Purple and blue. Donkey Kong's involved.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
What I'm super excited about is that if you remember for Christmas, I got an adult sweatshirt, an adult hoodie. It was gray, heather gray. You've seen me wear it a lot.
I love it.
And then, but immediately this tore right here, but I stitched it back up myself and everything was great. And it's the one hoodie I have that doesn't have like a logo on it. I don't know why I don't have a Kind of Funny logo hoodie. I don't know why that doesn't exist yet. But I don't have the Twitch one. I don't have an oversized Mizzou one. And I loved that one. It pulled together outfits nicely. I wore it to the South by Southwest Gaming Awards, right? I feel if I want to go out and I want to look good but not too good, I put on a collared shirt, I put on a tie, and I put the hoodie over it with my jeans and my cons, and I look like
There you go.
I can go anywhere. I can
The
take it
Greg Miller
off.
special.
I can take it off and I could interview you for an award-winning newspaper, or I could leave it on and just fucking be a fat guy, and that's what I do.
You're good at that. You're
But
good at all these things.
I got so excited because it came back from the laundry the other day, and I put it on. And I was like, yeah. And then I went out with our friend Caleb, and then I ran into Marty and Goldfarb, and I got completely fucking shit canned, just wasted drunk. And so then on the way home, like, I'm too drunk. I need to eat some pizza. I need to sober up. Went to the pizza place, got a slice. Was like, you know what else I'm feeling? Give me some of the ranch dressing.
Damn, you were really feeling it.
Oh, I was fucking
God, be
2
careful
pieces
with
of
that
cheese and that ranch dressing.
dressing,
And sure enough, I got home and it was just all over me. Just like it was like the sweatshirt's first day out. You know what I mean? It was like it just got released.
It was worth it though. I'm sure.
It was, but then it's fucked me up this week where I'm like, I gotta keep putting on hoodies that have things. So what I did is I woke up a Saturday, cleaned the room, cleaned the house, did a bunch of stuff. I was like, I'm gonna do some adult stuff today. Sat down, went in the laundry, picked it out, found the tag, and I just ordered like the fucking rainbow.
Good.
I got dark blue, light blue.
Perfect.
Another heather
See, that's how
gray,
you do
a
things.
black. Now I'm just I am flush with adult sweatshirts that I can wear to set off
That's
my
what I did
outfits.
last year for E3. I went to Macy's,
Yeah.
their American Rag line, big fan.
Yeah.
And I just bought all of their long sleeve shirts so that I roll them up.
Right.
You're familiar. My light blue one,
Right.
my dark blue one, my medium blue one, my slightly darker than the other one blue one,
Yeah.
my lighter than the first light blue
Right.
one. I have one salmon one to throw things off.
Yeah, I like that.
Now I
like
just
that. It keeps
redid
everyone on
that,
his toes,
but now
yeah.
they're short sleeve. The theme
Right.
for this year, short sleeve.
Okay.
We're going to summer look for
Yeah.
this E3. It's going to be fun. We'll see how it goes.
I did another thing where I went. I like Nordstrom Calibrate shirts. Couldn't get those on Amazon, so I had to go to Nordstrom's. Bought a whole bunch of different ones. They arrived. I tried on one last night. I'm hoping just because I was drunk, but it felt like it was tight. And I'm like, I don't understand how this is tight. I'm ordering the exact same measurements as the other one.
Yeah.
So I got to try out a whole bunch of Nordstrom.
Sizing's hard, man. You can never trust sizing, even within brands.
I just hate that shit. Though.
Never trust
That's
anybody.
why I don't buy it. Never trust anybody.
Does that
over
interest you,
18.
Colin? Never trust anybody?
Yeah, I don't trust anyone.
If you didn't know, this is the GameOverGreggy show.
right.
Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table. Each bring a random topic of discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindoffunny where we put up the show early and you get all sorts of exclusive perks, items, and goodies. If you have no money to give us to get those perks, items, and goodies, no big deal. Head over to youtube.com/kindoffunny where we post the podcast topic by topic, day by day, until the entire thing goes live as one big video and MP3. Jesus fucking
What
Christ.
the hell just happened?
Colin's getting a million texts at once. He came out of the black hole.
It's my brother.
We know him.
Let's get the
You think you do, but you really don't.
This is the Diary of Dagan Moriarty. Does anybody else miss Diary on MTV? That's another topic for another day. Colin, lead us off.
So I wanted to finally tackle this subject that rages on the internet to this very day, and it's about how you pronounce GIF. G-I-F.
So
the
GIF or
peanut butter.
GIF?
GIF or GIF.
The peanut butter, right?
Now the answer is GIF.
We're talking about the
But
peanut butter,
I-
the,
but I
smoothie,
want-
the smooth peanut butter.
No, we're talking about the
Crunchy
file,
peanut
the
butter?
format.
Oh, GIF, GIF.
So GIF is, I grew up saying GIF as well. GIFs are old. They're almost as old as I am, actually. But it wasn't until I found out that actually the creator and everyone that used it in the very beginning all called it GIF. And the creators go on and said it is pronounced GIF. I made it. That pretty much solves that issue. Yet I wanted to go into into what it is and how it's pronounced. And then there's an article I want to read you about why they think that the guy who made it is wrong. So do you guys know anything about where GIFs or GIFs come from? Right?
Yeah.
The history?
Atari.
No. After that.
Cisco Systems.
CompuServe created it. And here's what the Wikipedia says. It says the graphics interchange format, better known by its acronym GIF, is a bitmap image format that was introduced by CompuServe in 1987 and has since come into widespread usage on the World Wide Web due to its wide support and portability. So the history of it is that CompuServe introduced the GIF, we'll just call it the GIF format.
Okay.
In 1987 to provide a color image format for their file downloading areas, replacing their earlier run length encoding format, which was black and white only. GIF became popular because it used LZW data compression, which is more efficient than the run length encoding that formats such as PCX and Mac Paint use, and fairly large images could therefore be downloaded in reasonably short time, even with very slow modems. So what's interesting about this is that really nothing has changed. About I think it says here on Wikipedia that the last update, the latest release of it is 89A, released in 1989. That the format hasn't actually changed fundamentally at all.
We nailed it.
Since before the World Wide Web it was invented. The World Wide Web didn't come out until the early 90s. So they go into this thing. It says, as a noun, the word GIF is found in the newer editions of many dictionaries, and basically can be used as a verb and all these kinds of things. Pronunciation. Here's what it says.
Okay.
The creators of the format pronounce GIF as GIF, with a short G as in gin. Steve Wilhite says that the intended pronunciation deliberately echoes the American peanut butter brand Jif, and CompuServe employees would often say choosy developers choose Jif, spoofing this brand's television commercials. And an alternative pronunciation with a hard G is in widespread usage. The American Heritage Dictionary cites both, acknowledging Jif as the primary pronunciation, while Cambridge Dictionary of American English offers only the hard G pronunciation. Merriam-Webster's Collegiate Dictionary and the OED cite both pronunciations but place GIF in the default position. The new Oxford American Dictionary gave only GIF in its second edition, but updated it to GIF and GIF in its third edition. The disagreement over the pronunciation led to heated internet debate. On the occasion of receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award at the 2013 Webby Award ceremony, Wilhite rejected the alternative pronunciation, and his speech led to 17,000 posts on Twitter and 50 news articles. The White House and TV program Jeopardy also waded into the debate in 2013. So it's basically finished. I mean, the man and all the people that used it in the beginning all pronounced it GIF intentionally, like the peanut butter.
But the dictionary accepts too. Some dictionaries accept too. Some
What's this guy's name?
put GIF
Steve
first.
Wilhite.
Steve Wilhite?
Yeah.
Steve Wilhite. Listen to me. Do not take this lightly.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you and everything you stand for. I have not said this to any other person in the entire world, but I will fight you. I will fucking fight you over this shit.
You're fine. You're
in
no danger.
This is bullshit. It is GIF. What is this GIF shit? You can fuck right out of here, because here's my thing. I will do literally anything for fame. Correct?
Yeah,
correct.
We can all confirm that.
Correct. That's all the fuck you're doing here. You're smart. I'll give you that. I'll give you that, Steve Wilbright, or whatever the hell your name is. Woolworth.
Right.
So
Wilbright.
Wilhite.
But no, fuck this. That's some bullshit. Because all you did, you're like, you know what? If I tell them some bullshit, I'm going to get a lot of retweets. I know you did. I hope you feel really goddamn good about that. But you're wrong. It's GIF. So fuck you and everything you stand for. That's all I have
So there's
to
a
say.
follow-up here that more is in line with what Tim's saying.
Casey article. Fuck that guy.
Casey Chan at Gizmodo in 2013 wrote, the creator of GIF says it's pronounced GIF. He is wrong. Says, along with whether or not Al Gore invented the internet, figuring out the correct pronunciation of GIF is one of the earliest questions on the internet. I grew up in believing it was a hard G. Most people I know pronounce it like that too. Even the White House agreed on pronouncing GIF like gift. But we have to reevaluate the whole argument again because the inventor of GIF, Papa GIF Steve Wilhite, says it's pronounced GIF. What the hell? Steve Wilhite, who was accepting a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Webby Awards, told the New York Times how annoyed he was at the debate over the pronunciation. Quote, the Oxford English Dictionary accepts both pronunciations. They are wrong. It is a soft G pronounced GIF. End of story. End quote. You hear that? They are wrong. He's saying, we the people of America are wrong. It is a soft G pronounced GIF. Sir, why did you not name it GIF like the peanut butter then? End of story. I have long thought the story was over too, but I'm guessing we're reading different books. But he is Papa GIF, And parents have a certain amount of right over the things they bring into this world. If you name your kid Dwayne instead of Dwayne like Dwayne Wade, go ahead. And also, Will Height isn't exactly wrong in his thinking. The hard G pronunciation of the letter G usually comes when an A, O, or U follows it. Think gas, good, or guy. We pronounce G's as the soft G when I, E, or Y follow. Think giraffe, German, or analogy. There are exceptions, of course, but in general practice, Will Height has his point. GIF is followed by an I. The problem with Will Height's thinking is how we see acronyms. Are they their own words or do they stand for something? Is BBC a word? Ba-ba-ba-ch. Or is it BBC? If you combine the letters into a word, how does JPEG for JPEG make sense as opposed to JPEG? If GIF stands for graphics interchange format, does the graphics portion of the phrase point towards a hard G in the acronym? It gets confusing, I know. But the clearest difference for me is that there are different things pronounced GIF and not spelled GIF already. The peanut butter comes to mind, Jiffy Lube, back in a Jiffy. If you want to pronounce GIF like GIF, spell it GIF. If you spell it with a G and use it as an acronym for the words graphics, if there are words like gift, girl, give, gizmodo, and many more GI words being pronounced with a hard G, and if the President of the United States of America decrees that GIF is GIF and not GIF,
Thanks,
well, then
Obama.
you are wrong, even if you are the father.
One good thing he did.
Yeah. You know what? I take back a little bit of the fuck you. Like, it's a lowercase fuck you, not a capital fuck you, because I like how much he's fighting this. Like, I like how much he's standing with it. But still, the fuck you stands, because I named it Gamescast. If all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? When I first thought of it, it was actually Gumscast. or Gomscast, right? No. I can't just fucking say that shit. It's like, well, when we originally made it, I thought that in my head. No, fuck you. Fuck you.
We originally were going to call it Gamecast, and I said we should call it Gamescast. Wasn't that the there was some sort of weird thing with it. You remember?
Nope.
You don't remember this?
It all begins again
in
right
December.
here. This is it.
No. In December, there was some sort of pronunciation issue with it. Does anyone? No one. Well, you weren't here, I guess. Yeah, Kevin. No one remembers this.
Nope.
I know
That
what
we
you're
were,
talking about.
we were
There
having
was a
some sort of
discussion.
pronunciation
listened
issue
to
with
you
it,
guys.
and I was like, we should pluralize games. What the fuck was it for, though? There was a reason. We should go back in the email. We'll find
that's
it.
what, I mean, it would be. It was either Gamecast or Gamescast.
Oh, but
I remember there was. Do we intercap? Do we put it together? Are they separate words? I
no,
remember those being
it was
conversations.
Gamecast.
Well, these conversations happened as well. You can't just blink them out of existence.
No, I know, but that's not what I'm talking about.
I know. Oh no, I know you're talking about something specific.
What the fuck was it? That doesn't matter.
Anyways, it's GIF. Next topic.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you,
No, we're
Frank.
gonna talk more about.
Well, I mean,
it,
the
obviously.
issue.
I stand with Tim. I stand with the other people. I mean, it's also. It's just like, you know, it's not. I don't think. Grant, when he started it in its GIF, then there should have been a conversation that let it go. Popular opinion has run away and it's GIF. And like some dictionaries are accepting both and putting one primary. Some are not putting one primary. The fact of the matter is though that it's just like we were talking about this earlier with it's not my forte when it's really fort, right?
Yeah,
that's how you're
something Nick told
supposed
me.
to say it. It's like there's a lot of words we're supposed to say a certain way and we don't. Tomato, kind of that crap. But I mean.
But I'm not going to say it. But now that I know that forte, I mean, this is the thing. Now that I know that it's not forte anymore, I'm never going to say it again.
Now, this is like when people tried to tell us on GameScoop a long time ago that niche was niche.
It's Gomscoop. Right.
Sorry, GomScoop. When they told us that, and like we got all hung up on it, and then the dictionary, it was like there's a million pronunciations.
I mean, I say
That's it.
niche.
You're going to say whatever you want to say because you're your person.
Right,
Whatever makes
but
sense to you.
that's also different because that is like an Anglicanization. I don't know how to say it. Like anglicizing it
Sure, that's how you said it.
to niche, but Anglicanization, I think would be the proper pronunciation of a French word. That happens all the time. So I don't buy those arguments at all because like everyone's like, it's niche. That's how the French say it. And I'm like, do you want me to pick out the 7 million words that we speak that are Latin that are not pronounced proper?
Right.
Do you really want to go down this road? We are a heavily Germanic, Latinized language that has evolved over 3,000 years. Do you really want to get into that because of the word niche, which is not even a fucking English word, by the way? You know, so I don't necessarily deal with like all of that because I'm like, it's nonsense. Like we have totally Americanized and Anglicanized a lot of different words.
We're modernizing this dorks word that he came up with.
But this is the thing, everyone's like, why don't you, Steve? Why don't you
Don't
call
make fun of Steve
Jeff.
Wentworth or whatever his name is.
But to me, the argument is weird because everyone's like, why didn't you just call it GIF? And I'm like, they did call it GIF. It is an acronym. You can't just make J be graphics all of a sudden. It's G for graphics.
Right.
So like I don't like, so it is an acronym. It's one of those things where I'm like, I knew it was GIF for like I called it GIF forever until like a few years ago.
Yeah.
But when I found out that the guy, I think it was probably around this time actually when he did this thing, I'm like, it's GIF. Well, I feel like an idiot because the man who made it and everyone at CompuServe when they invented it, called it GIF. And I'm like, okay, that is relevant information to me.
Sure, but I mean, the whole problem is that it's just like the 12, 20, 30, 100, 200 people in CompuServe. At the time, it was a different internet where you couldn't get out and have a podcast talking about how to pronounce this word, So it's a word that gets out and people read and figure out on their own and start saying their own. And I think that popular opinion ran away with it to the point of, like I remember when this came around and you're like, oh, he always intended it to be pronounced GIF. Cool. It's not, and I think it's definitely one of those things everybody's not that stupid. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's the hipsters like Colin that want to make a big deal. What's that? When somebody says GIF, no, you mean GIF. Like
I've never corrected anyone saying it wrong or differently. I never have. I mean, can you find an example, Tom Hawkins?
Tom Hawkins.
Hawkins. That's Tom Hawkins' siren. I'm ringing.
That was good.
But I think it's relevant because it goes back to like, is it as serious as naming a child or naming something else? I guess not. But like, if like to Tim's point, if someone was like, I'm now going to call this, this person that was named this, I'm just going to call them this pronunciation instead. And it's like, but my parents named me this.
Right.
Like just because you think it should be that doesn't mean it is.
But it's not.
And
the
just because
exact same
everyone
thing.
calls it that doesn't mean it's true. Like that's kind of my whole approach to it as well. It goes back to the Mario versus Mario thing for me. Mm-hmm. I grew up in a heavily Italian area. No one said Mario. I knew people named Mario.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like it wasn't even, but like suddenly everyone's like, it's what, you saying Mario? I'm like, first of all, I'm Italian. I come from like the most Italian place outside of Italy in the entire fucking world. I know people with that name, but no, you're right. It's Mario. And then eventually people beat me down so much that I'm like, fine, I'm just going to drop it because you're fucking wrong. But I guess that's the way you want it to be because a fucking fake Nintendo character from Japan calls himself Mario. So everyone, and I'm like, so it's just, there's just a bunch of nonsense out there, but like really, like with this particular instance, it's actually pretty cut and dry for me because it's not like, it's not even like one of these, like it's like an old archaeological thing. We're dusting off the Rosetta Stone. We're like, how do we pronounce this mysterious Egyptian hieroglyph?
It's like Sanskrit. We don't really know how it's supposed to sound.
It's like the man is alive. Well, he invented it in the 80s, and he's telling you it's pronounced this way.
Where has he been all these years, though? That's my question.
Probably developing a bunch of shit.
Like, good for you. You made one cool thing.
Like sitting in a room debating as to whether or not he was going to quash this for all time, or was he just like, I mean, he could have come out in like mid 90s and be like, no, it's Jeff.
Don't give a fuck about those back then.
They're
cool now. He's coming up. He's like, oh shit, this is my time to shine.
Trust me, if there's one thing I cared about, it was how quickly you could download a photo in the late 90s.
A photo, not a goddamn GIF.
He doesn't even know what a GIF is.
GIF is a file format. Doesn't matter. It does work for
Shut up, Kevin. Ow! Portillo!
I'm gonna look up what he did because he has his own Wikipedia page.
I'm sure he's done prolific things. My point is, if he wanted to put the final pin in this argument, he should have done it at the beginning of it because now the train's left the station.
I mean, that's the thing is, we're talking about it being nonsense and niche or niche or whatever. I think this is the exact same argument. Where it's like, okay, cool. This stupid fucking thing we all use on the internet in a goofy way. Just like JPEG. Whatever.
Well, it is JPEG. I don't think there's any other way to
Sure, but I'm just saying it's like, we're going to go to the mat about...
JPEG. How did you pronounce it?
Right.
JPEG?
JPEG.
JPEG. I'm calling it the JPEG from now on.
Kevin's got something to say, apparently.
So when the news came out that it was supposed to be pronounced GIF, I switched over. But honestly, what Tim did today was so brave that I'm switching back.
Thank you, Kevin.
It was brave. The man.
It took a while for
I
me
found
to-
out in his biography he suffered from a stroke and had to retire because of that. But no big. So you just told a man who had a terrible disability to go fuck himself.
Fuck him.
Because he invented something that we all laugh at.
I love him. Hey,
We all have a good laugh at a GIF every day.
I love
No
GIFs
good
a
deed,
lot.
Colin. No good deed.
It's a GIF
goes
keyboard.
unpunished.
He gave us a gift,
Giphy.com.
and you guys fucked up.
Would you say that the man? Colin, would you say that the man is very gifted?
Yeah, he's a gifted man, a gifted gentleman,
individual.
gifted Gettleman.
God, I like how we turned that up after we found out that this guy is disabled. That's all.
He's not disabled. He had a
stroke.
stroke. He's fine now.
He doesn't want us pulling punches.
I just
he
wanted to
wants
make
to be
fun of
treated
Tim.
like a normal member of society.
Okay.
At this
I
point,
trust
he's lucky if he gets anything. He doesn't deserve it. A single thing.
He gave us so much. He gave us the gift of laughter, and like I feel like to me that's so very important. I never really thought of. I'm just reading about it. Like I didn't realize the file protocol is so old. Like
Yeah.
from the late 80s. It's pretty impressive. Like nothing's changed. You can kind of see because everything's really artifacted and fucking grainy and shit when you use it. You can tell no one's ever done a goddamn thing to it. And all the patents are apparently up on it too.
Let's buy it.
Let's do it. Let's patent it.
Should we trademark it and patent it?
Oh my God.
Then we could change
We'll
the
call it
name.
GIF.
I like this. I like where this is going.
We'll spell it with
Patreon.com/
2 eyes.
kind of funny.
GIF.
I don't know. Let's get on it.
GIF.
So
Do you have to spell it with an H to make it sound like that? No, it's G. How do you spell? How would you spell GIF then with a G? 2 Fs? How would you go into that?
GHIF GHYF.
GIF. That's how we'll spell it.
GIF.
Yeah, GIF. That stands for graphical heat yield hyper frame.
That's all.
All right.
I just want to say this. The conclusion is thus that I don't think it's a losing battle for him because eventually this is going to be buried and it's going to be like an interesting little piece of knowledge that people have, people that know what's actually happening and going on in their lives. But for everyone else, they can live in ignorance and call it GIF if they want. I just want to really, pay homage to
homage?
Homage. I'm sorry, I want to pay les hommages to him for creating this file format that has brought us much laughter in our lives. When you really think about it, we take it for granted. This man, all he's asking, he's like, well, look at all of the laughter. I've given you all hours and days worth of laughter from my file format that's pronounced this way. Can you at least respect that about me?
No.
Apparently the answer is no.
Somebody else would have done it. I don't care. It's GIF. I'm sorry about the stroke.
Yeah. No.
Tim.
I'm standing on that hill.
Tim, what's your topic?
Are you
My
standing on it,
topic-
but you're not going to die on the hill?
I'm not going to die on it.
Okay, you're just standing on it.
I will fight him on
That's
that
a
hill.
stupid thing to die or
I will fight
argue
on
about,
that
period.
hill. So my topic is brought to you by one Snowbike Mike, aka my favorite person to talk to in life.
Wow.
This is one of our best friends out there over on Patreon. We get to talk to him every once in a while doing our Q&As.
Yeah.
And he just, speaking of bringing laughter, that motherfucker brings
I enjoy
the
him.
hits.
I enjoy him.
He's
Snowbike
funny
Mike's
as all
amazing.
shit.
Yeah.
So last time we talked, we had a discussion about ticket scalping and how the hell it works. So I did a little research into it.
Did you?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
About a little bit. I mean, Googled it 5 minutes ago. But I do have some articles that I'd like to refer to at some point in this topic. But I just want to present it to the table. How the hell is this a thing?
It is
We've
fascinating.
been to concerts. Some of us have been to sports shows.
I love going to a
And-
sports show.
There's always
Seeing
these
my
motherfuckers.
favorite athletes hit some
dudes-
dingers at the
There's
sports
dingers
show.
yeah. So there's always people out there and they're always selling tickets. They're always trying to buy tickets. What's going
Right.
on with this? How do they get all these goddamn tickets?
They buy them.
Costco.
No, it's fascinating. It's a fascinating thing. I've thought about it before, but I never thought about it too deeply actually until we talked to him on Skype. And it is, when I think about it, I've been to many sports games in my life, sports shows.
Events. Sports shows.
And I've been to many concerts, right? So you see these things, and I've scalped before. Like I've totally bought scalp tickets and I've sold tickets.
Me too.
So to me, like the only time I ever sold tickets was when I was in Boston. I've told this story, I think, when I would go to Yankee game. When the Yankees would come to town, obviously it was a big deal. And I don't know if they still do it, but Fenway would release 200 standing room only tickets every night before the next game. And it would be like in the morning, like 6 a.m. So I used to sleep out there sometimes. I think Ramon used to come sometimes. And they would sell you a maximum of 2 tickets for $20 each. And all I would do was I'd buy 2, I'd go with one of them, and I'd sell the other one for $40 just to make my money back on both tickets. And that was it. Because standing room tickets suck. But, and I've purchased obviously, tickets from people as well. But to me, it's like, it's just, it is fascinating getting a glimpse into the ecosystem. When we were at IGN, we worked a block and a half away from AT&T Park where the Giants play. And it would be a madness down there.
People down there with the signs around their necks.
And there would be guys
I need tickets.
buying
I'm selling
tickets, selling tickets, parking passes, everything you could possibly imagine. Well-dressed individuals, clearly making money, making deals on their phones with an amazing amount of like entrepreneurship, I guess. But there is like, I do not understand the buying and selling nature and how you make money, because it seems like when I'm walking by in the 4th inning, they're still selling these tickets. So they're obviously holding on to excess inventory.
Right.
My only theory could possibly be that they're buying these things 2nd, 3rd, and 4th hand from major corporations that have 40 or 50 seats per game and they never use them. Like you have to imagine Facebook probably has, or Google or Twitter probably has not only their box for their executives, they probably have like 50 tickets per game.
Sure.
And they're just like, well, no one, we forgot to even have it.
They probably have to give them away though. Do you think Facebook's really selling those tickets?
No, they're giving them away.
Yeah,
But
they're
what I'm
giving them
saying
away,
is that someone is probably taking like, there's probably something where someone's like, I'll take 20 of them. And then they're like, fuck that. And then they sell them to
Right.
someone who then sells them.
Yep.
Is that right?
So from the limited research I did, what it sounds like is you're right. It is Facebook and it's these big companies that get a shit ton of them. Then there's the smart entrepreneurial motherfucker who runs this shady ass business where he hires all the people that he sends out to do it. And their thing is they know that even like the people out there, that's the last line of defense. Before that, there's the StubHubs and all the websites and shit where that's where they're really making money because they're marking those motherfuckers up 3-4 times the price of the tickets. So they're making a ton of money there. The people we see on the streets, that's the end. That's the last ditch effort to try to make some money back. So they're paying these guys minimum wage to be out there. Sometimes not even minimum wage. They'll just give them tickets to be able to go to the concert or the sports show or whatever the hell they're doing, and they get to stand there and do all that stuff. And that's just to try to make a little bit of money back. But their thing is, these guys, their business is multi-million a year. So what they're doing is they invest so much that if they lose millions of dollars a year, it's fine because they're making millions of dollars a year, like more. So that's the whole game there is they're
so
totally down to
buy
losing.
they'll buy in bulk or they'll get in bulk 50 tickets knowing that they can sell them for 2 to 3 times as much and take a loss on how many they sell.
Yeah.
But end up netting positive in the end.
So if they get their 50, because of how cheap they get the 50 in the beginning,
Right.
if they only sell 10 of them
10, right.
for the outrageous prices, they've already at least made more than they spent.
Right.
So then all the rest of the money, that's why like the tickets get pretty cheap towards the end. That's all just recouping extra. So that's gravy for them.
So what you're saying is the guys on the street aren't the guys that are going to Facebook specifically and getting them. This is
No.
an outside organization that's actually interfacing with Facebook.
Yep.
And then those guys in the streets are just kind of the worker bees.
Yep. The
ones
worker
that are out
bees.
there.
They're out there. The queen's
Interesting.
sitting at home.
Where did the
that
pre-sale
shit.
people enter into the picture? Because Mike Mitchell he had 49ers season tickets, so we always got first crack at anything that's coming to Levi's. And so I imagine not him, but like other people. If I had that and I was like, oh, cool, Taylor Swift's coming, and I don't care about Taylor Swift. This is alternate universe, Greg. I, for some reason, care about the 49ers, and I don't care about Taylor Swift. I have season tickets. They offer that. I'd buy those tickets, right, and then try to flip them myself. I assume there's a network underneath the kingpin.
So that's the thing. That's a totally different. There's a lot going on here. So from reading this, what it sounds like is when these concerts or the sporting events, the number that they say of attendance is tickets sold. So it's not actually people there. So they don't give a fuck really. Like the question of how is this legal? It does get to a point of city by city. Like each ordinance has different rules on how you can scalping and resell, and is it illegal? Is it not illegal?
This is a big thing, and it's just a side note to get back to it. A big thing at Mizzou when we'd go camp out for Illini tickets at the bragging rights game at the Edward or down in St. Louis. You couldn't resell the tickets above face value. So what people would do is go on eBay and put the 2 tickets in there along with a pen. And you're buying the pen, but we're including these tickets. And
see, that's the workarounds. From what it sounds like, in the majority of places in America, and there's definitely exceptions, but in the majority of places, you're allowed to resell tickets. You're not allowed to sell fake tickets.
Oh, okay.
And that's the obvious thing.
Yeah.
But you cannot lead people to believe that these are tickets that will work, even if you're using any weird pen bullshit where it's like, oh, you're buying the pen and this ticket to this thing, that needs to be a legit ticket.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Okay.
But the weird thing there is if that happens outside the event, if they sell that, the cop needs to see it happen, or else they have nothing to go off.
Gotcha. Can't get you.
Yeah. So
Double jeopardy.
then, because I was reading stories about people that got in trouble where they sold fake tickets. There was a cop. They had to grab the cop, and then they had to find the guy that sold them the fake ticket, and that wasn't enough. They had to then follow them and wait till they did it to somebody else to catch them. I'm like, all right.
So how did this
Shit
come up
runs
with
deep.
Snow Bike Mike?
I don't remember.
Okay.
But it did.
I mean, it sounds like the kind of thing.
It came up literally being like, what is the deal with this? How does this work? And I'm like, that's a
I know.
great fucking question. Because, I've often thought in situations where I go to some high profile sports games or more likely go to high profile concerts or whatever. And I've often thought, I remember when I saw Faith No More when they had first come back, substantial rock band hadn't played in a long time. And I saw them at the Fillmore, I think. And I bought 2 tickets, but I could have bought like a maximum of 8. And it crossed my mind where I'm like, I could probably make $1,000 profit by buying all these tickets right now. Easy. But then like my whole thing is like, I'm not really hurting for money at all. Like none of us are. And I'm like, I don't want to do that to a Faith No More fan. I'd rather at least make someone else do that to them than rather than me. I don't want to do that, or make it so that 6 other people that really want to see Faith No More can go. It's not even the work thing. It's like, I just think it's not right. At some point, like I don't mind. A part of it is like, it's capitalism and that's fine and that's fantastic. If you want to do that, but I just don't want to get involved in that because I'd be really fucking upset if I wanted to see Faith No More and the only way I can get a ticket is some asshole selling it for 4 times what he paid for it when I just want to go see this music or whatever, and the band's not seeing any more money, you're seeing it. So it's like, so I can kind of sympathize with that, and I don't really want to get involved in that kind of stuff. You hear that a lot with PAX East and PAX Prime passes. They're calling it PAX West now. Did you know that?
I've seen references to that. I didn't know that was official.
Yeah, they're calling it PAX West. It's a little weird.
Prime.
Yeah. Saw the logo for the first time.
It does put down the other shows.
But yes, well, PAX Prime is probably the better show.
Oh, I agree. Well, PAX East is pretty awesome.
Yeah, PAX East is nice. But so anyway, like the one thing I like
South though.
the one thing I like to do is when I go to Jets games is I play what the Pornhub game of chicken. Pornhub's ticket prices scale wildly from week to week in the NFL if you pay attention. What? What's so funny about that? Oh,
Pornhub?
StubHub. I said Pornhub.
I was like,
wait a minute.
I thought we were on the
StubHub,
same
sorry.
thing.
Here's why I got scared. I was like, holy
sorry.
shit.
Why didn't anyone tell me?
Have I been buying a ticket to Pornhub
You
all
said
this
it
time?
like you said it the first time quick, then the next time confident, and the third time we laughed, and then you're like, what? And then I was like, wait, am I missing?
Yeah.
Is he going somewhere with
Well, that'll be
this?
a good video you can put on the new forums post that you should check out about good videos. StubHub. The StubHub game of chicken. Week to week, wildly, the prices fluctuate depending on how teams are doing in the matchup. So, like, you can have these really terrible, like, Jets-Browns matchups in, like, week 17 where both teams have 4 wins and you can, like, basically, they pay you to go. Or you can, like, wait. So, like, we play this game often with my friends back home, and we played it last time and we lost terribly, where you can, like, really wait and see and like hope that the guys that the Jets are going to play week 7 when you go to the game they tank and then no one wants to go to that game. Or it could be like a really competitive game. Like they're predictable ones. Everyone always wants to see the Patriots play the Jets and stuff like that. So you get those tickets as early and as cheap as possible. For me, I'm more fascinated by that market because that market is totally driven by market economics as opposed to like the last minute people that go to these games and want a ticket, or like the desperation that people will pay, like to pay like 5, 6, 10 times more than ticket face value. So I encourage people to go to Pornhub to watch porn, but to go to StubHub to see the wild scaling and ticket prices for NFL games specifically. It's fascinating to watch. And if you play the game properly and you wait long enough and you're willing to not go to the game at all or pay an exorbitant amount of price, you can get these tickets super cheap if you fucking just wait till the fucking very last minute. And one of my friends got really upset with me when I went and saw the Jets and the Colts play a few years ago because I didn't wait long enough. And the Jets were like 2-0 or 3-0, and I bought the tickets, and then they lost like 3 games in a row or something like that, and the ticket prices fell like 50 or 60%. We paid way more than we should have for the tickets. But that's kind of the way it goes when you...
The gamble.
It is, because the only way you can really avoid it is to pay face value for the tickets when they're out. And the fact of the matter is, for almost any NFL game or MLB game, as long as it's not a playoff game or a game that has some playoff implication or just some great players in it or whatever, like you can almost always go to the games for cheaper than people pay for those tickets. That's kind of the...
What's interesting about scalping is that the internet hasn't made it irrelevant. I mean, it's worked hand in hand. I thought, when it started, and I remember when StubHub started up, and it was like, go here to get your tickets, or even when Ticketmaster finally got a working online portal, it was like, oh, I wonder what this is going to do. When in reality, like, yeah, outside of IGN, there's always people there because there is that off chance you come out and, hey, for $10, $20, you can get a seat that's not terrible and go in there and get a hot dog and watch it. I'm like, oh.
It sounds like, from reading these things, it sounds like it is on the decline to the point that it's almost to the point that it's not worth it for even that last line of defense. Because the internet has made it so good that they are profiting so much.
Because you can just go, you can go on StubHub on your phone. Like, you could not buy it for some weirdo where you're worried about the ticket being legit. You could just get it on your phone outside of anywhere through 3G.
I want to read a bit of this because I think it's interesting.
Please
This
do.
is from Billboard. Ray Riddell writes from the headlines, Confessions of a Ticket Scalper. Billboard's candid Q&A. So you've been active in the ticket brokering business. And he responds, you know how many airline miles guys like me have? I haven't paid for a plane ticket since they came out with planes for using my credit card. I like you. I like you a lot. What's it like out there in your business? It's out of control these days. I've been in this game since it was invented. I made my money, and this business is on the downside for me now. One of these days, brokers are going to piss off the wrong people in the prosecutor's office, and they're going to go after them criminally and make it stick. When the shit hits the fan, I want to be able to go to sleep at night. I'm like, damn, this is one of those motherfuckers you could tell is making a shit ton of money from this.
That or he really has an overinflated sense.
Yeah, I was
of like
he's
how
just acting,
awesome he
right?
is.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, because he starts naming numbers later. I'm like, all right, so he really is doing some shit. So what do you mean by out of control? And he goes, the bots. I met a guy who told me he had 600 modems in his piece of crap strip mall store that generated so much heat the neighbor couldn't get their temperature right. So I'm like, all right, this guy's going somewhere with this. So you're talking about the use of automated bots that hit the ticketing company at on sale with thousands of requests for tickets. How did brokers used to operate, say, 25 years ago? Those guys were no angels, but they had actual businesses. They were checks and balances. These guys today that sell to StubHub and these other sites are able to lock up the entire inventory on these screens, decide what they want, and dump back the rest. Sometimes they hire some computer genius to do their dirty work. Give me the tickets, I'll make the money, I'll take the risk and put them up on all these secondary marketed boards. There's another type of guy that says, I'm going to find me a guy in India to write this program. So it's this whole network of shit where they're just scheming and doing all this shit. And then there's like the Live Nations and stuff that make their fan clubs and all that. And that's their last ditch effort to try. So you're talking about the season ticket holders.
Yeah.
That's them trying to hold on to control and power of this stuff. Because there's these guys doing all this whole thing. So it's like, why take a risk on tickets that aren't a sure sell? A ticket source might say, you can't just cherry pick me and take all the Springsteen. You got to go buy some of these other crap shows. So I'll say, okay, send me the crap shows. I'll get rid of them. But then the hot shows don't always mean we make money. So pretty much they will get the hot ticket items that they know are going to make a shit ton of money through these deals, but then that means they also need to sell all of the shitty sports shit that they know is not going to sell.
Sport shows.
Yeah, the sports shows.
Harlem Globetrotters.
Because just selling those tickets means that the sports people can say that they sold this many tickets, even though there's not that many people there.
Gotcha.
So there's a lot of business going on.
Fascinating. Dirty.
It's
Dirty
super
pool.
interesting. Super interesting. Yeah. Wasn't there a show about not a nonfiction show, but a fiction show about
Scalping?
not scalping, but like what Tim was more talking about, like where there was a legitimate business of people buying and selling tickets back in the day, like reselling tickets. I just remember.
I think I know what you're talking about. Was it on Comedy Central? But I thought it was nonfiction though. I thought it was a guy that did a bunch of schemes constantly, and every episode was like a different
Maybe that's what it was.
thing doing one of these. It was like 2006.
Schemers.
Maybe that's what it was.
Crank yankers.
No.
South Park.
Anyways, I think this is really interesting.
Oh, it's
I
not,
like this stuff.
it's not a show. I knew someone that worked at one of those. That wasn't a show at all. It was actually someone I knew.
He made the modems. He set up the modems.
No, but so yeah, I don't quite grasp it from a technical standpoint, but it is clearly quite lucrative.
Yeah, it sucks because that is the thing. You know, your band's coming to town, your show's coming to town. Like Weezer when they came through, or were getting ready to come through, and Taylor Swift, it was very much like, all right, 8:59, it's 9 o'clock, and like refreshing the page trying to make it work. It sucks that there's some robot computer, 600 modems out there.
I will say this though, and I don't want to jinx myself, or and I know people have had bad experiences, but there's never been an act or a sports event or anything that I wanted to go to that I really wanted to go to that I was ready on second one to buy tickets that I wasn't able to buy tickets for ever.
Really?
Yeah. Never.
Oh man, you haven't tried to buy Kanye West tickets.
Well, Kanye West sucks.
Just letting you know.
So I wouldn't want to see Kanye West.
Colin's more of a Faith No More kind of guy.
Faith No More. But like just any high profile, low profile things, like just random big bands and obviously very, very appealing sporting events or whatever. I've never had. If I was ready, like second one.
Sure, but it's one of those things where I feel like I'm second one, and I'm like at the Weezer show, I'm still like 5 rows back. Not terrible, but
That's
like
awesome.
I know, but I would have totally been front row if I could have.
Does Weezer play arenas?
Yeah.
And you're complaining about being 5
I'm
rows
just
back
letting
from the
you know.
stage. Are you
Just
kidding
letting you
me?
know, robots got it. Robots were in there fucking around.
I think the guys
There
that
were
are
as many
7,000
robots.
rows back at the arena are going to be a little more.
I hope
you
they're
know.
not tall robots, Greg. I want you to be able to see the show.
All these fucking cyborgs.
Could you believe that Weezer played the venue that we Kind of Funny Live to? Was that like when they were big?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
It's a pretty historic concert venue.
Yeah, I mean, but Weezer, it must have, I think it was a secret show. Because Weezer can play.
I could
Weezer
smell
can sell that
Rivers.
place out in
I
about
could
2
still
seconds.
smell Rivers in the background when we were back there in the dressing rooms. I could be like, yeah,
I
he
couldn't.
was
I
in
was
here.
trying to.
When you see Weezer, do they play all their good music or do they play like a lot of new stuff?
Depends on the show. Like the best show I ever went to for them was they did the Memories tour,
Where
where
they
it
play
was
their albums?
It was a retrospect. It was the first half was a retrospective backwards, and then they played Pinkerton start to finish.
Cool. I'd rather see the Blue Album, but
The
I would
night before
respect.
they did Blue Album.
I would rather see, but yeah, I wouldn't want. I don't know if I want to see them anymore.
They mix in, yeah, it's new stuff and old.
Because I don't even think I know anything. Beverly Hills is the last song I remember there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That song sucks. Everything before that was okay. Keep Fishing and Hash Pipe and
I
all
like
those
the
kinds of
music
stuff.
video to Keep Fishing.
Yeah, me too.
That's what the Muppets.
Yeah,
do?
that was
I like that a lot.
But like I don't know that I would vibe with them anymore. It's like the reason I won't see Bare Naked Ladies anymore.
Sure.
Because you
Yeah,
damn
of
well know
course.
they're not going to play anything from their good albums.
Well, they don't have the guy anymore, so
That's
kinda
true as
fucks
well.
everything up.
I think they
What
still
the
play
hell's
that
going
stuff.
on with Guns N' Roses?
They're back,
They're back?
but Axl hurt his leg like Dave Grohl did. So he's just like laying around.
Because all these
singing.
buses and shit, I'm going by and seeing billboards that say Guns
Yeah.
N' fucking Roses. I'm like, what the hell?
They've been
I would
back. It was a
totally,
big deal.
I would totally go to a GNR show. Although
But Slash is not in it, is he?
I think they
I
all
thought it was everybody's back.
Actually,
Buckethead
Slash.
played with them for a while back in the day.
Yeah.
And Slash wouldn't play with them, but I think Slash is back now. Buckethead's gone.
I think that was the big thing.
And-
It was a reunion thing. Blair went to it.
And
Hmm.
Prophets of Rage now is the big thing that's making the rounds right now, which sounds quite interesting as well. Although I don't know, I don't understand. I didn't read deeply enough about like what happened with Zach De La Rocha and why he's not
Yeah,
with
that's
Rage.
Rage. That's
Did
Rage.
they-
That's Zach De La Rocha, right?
It's Rage with
Chuck D.
yeah, Chuck D and the guy from Cypress. I'll be real. So
To be real.
I almost said Bun B, which would be even better.
Are they
Bun
actually
B
doing
playing with
Rage?
Red Against Machine would
Are
be
they
like a
actually
dream
doing
come true.
Rage songs though?
They're doing Rage and Cypress and Public Enemy songs
That's
apparently.
pretty fucking awesome, actually.
But there's got to be a reason why Zach De La Rocha's not involved. I don't know if they fell out. My theory is that you can't be a 55-year-old man rapping about how much you hate the federal government and how you're scared of the FBI anymore. I just don't know if that works.
I think you still can in this climate, in this day and age. I think it'd be fine. I just watched Citizen 4. That's why it's terrifying. Snowden, NSA.
I know we talked about it
Yeah, no.
over lunch.
Just saying it for Greg.
On
Sometimes when I
Monday.
start talking about documentaries, Greg just goes like this.
You know, I love documentaries.
Clicks
actually.
off.
It's just that
And then
normal
comes
thing.
back.
Whenever there's like a natural endpoint to a topic, you just keep on going. And so
That
I'm
wasn't
just,
me
I'm just
this
holding
time.
my breath, ready to throw it out there.
Why are you blaming on me?
Because you always do it. That topic was brought to you by Harry's. A Harry's shaving set will make the perfect Father's Day gift. It looks cool, it feels special, and it's something Dad will actually use. Dads can be impossible to shop for, Nick.
Not getting shit from me. For the rest
You
of the
don't want to get
podcast.
another tie or pair of socks he's never going to wear, but you also don't want to get something really practical that doesn't feel special enough to be a gift. Thankfully, Harry's has got you covered. While supplies last, Harry's is offering a special limited edition shave set for Father's Day. Get one for Dad and get one for yourself too. The limited edition Father's Day shave set includes a matte black razor handle, a chrome razor stand, Harry's moisturizing foaming shave gel, 3 of Harry's handcrafted blade cartridges, and a travel cover, all for $40. Plus, it comes in a sleek, giftable box with the option to add custom engraving and a personalized card. Harry's also has shaving sets at different price points, starting at $15. Get one for yourself. Go to harrys.com right now and redeem a special offer for fans of the show. Harry's will give you $5 off your first purchase with the promo code KINDAFUNNY, all one word. Don't wait. Economy shipping for Father's Day ends on Thursday, June 9th. Oh, bad news, Jack, you missed it. That's Harry's, HARRYS.com. Enter the code KINDAFUNNY at checkout to get $5 off and get Dad something he'll actually use this Father's Day.
That's nice.
Nick,
Yes, Greg.
let's make up. What's your topic?
Ice.
Oh, Jesus, I hate you.
Oh, yeah.
Integral or weird?
Both.
Discuss amongst yourselves.
I'm a big fan of ice. And I've always thought it's weird that Colin's not, and it kind of bothers me.
That is the thing.
Totally unnecessary.
Whenever we go to a restaurant for lunch, Colin will order a Coke, no ice. And then it comes, and inevitably the straw keeps coming out and going all limp on the top, and he's got to shove it back in. There's nothing to hold it there. The surface tension is trying to repel it.
No anchor.
Yeah, ice is totally unnecessary. Like, so the reason I get Coke with no ice is because have you ever really had a fountain drink at a restaurant that wasn't already cold? What is the point of the ice?
He makes
it's
a great
literally
point.
like 1 in 100 restaurants I go to where the Coke is room temperature because I got it with no ice. Usually it's cold as if there was ice in it already.
Mm-hmm.
So you're suffering from the principle of displacement, and you're suffering also
Watering
from
it
the
down.
principle of watering
You
down.
don't want to water down a Coke.
It was Socrates or Aristotle, I believe, one of those old motherfuckers, that waded into a pool and noticed that when they, when the water level rose and he understood that he was displacing the volume of liquid in the pool. Yeah, I think it was Socrates, but I could be wrong. Someone will let me know. One of them. It doesn't really matter.
Hostile.
Probably
And
Mona Lisa.
so you're putting ice into a Coke, you're getting less Coke. Now, usually that doesn't matter because you can get free
Yeah,
refills.
if it's fountain, you get a refill.
But it is sometimes not, depending on where you are.
No, fuck those
and also what
places.
country you're in. But I will say that I'm not so displeased by the displacement as much as I'm displeased by the watering down and the dilution of the perfect mixture of the fountain Coke. Now, what surprises me, Nick, is you're like, oh, I love the fountain Coke. The fountain Coke is the best. Blah, 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 blah,
It is
blah.
arguably
And then
best.
you throw a bunch of fucking ice in it, and immediately, you're fucking up the entire chemistry of the fountain Coke that is already cold. And the ice is simply keeping it cold by how does ice keep it cold? It's not through some sort of, it's not like an exothermic or endothermic reaction. It is the water that is cold melting into the Coke and destroying the essence of it. It isn't, but what I'm saying is it's an exothermic reaction because that's true. That's true. But what I'm saying is that it's not happening with the ice staying the same. It's happening because the ice is melting.
The ice is giving off the cold water.
But the thing is, it's a fact that the colder the drink is, the better. Just period. So you're correct that it comes out cold. I agree with that. But then it's better when it's colder. And you're right that the water kind of fucks with it. But let's all be real, Nick, aside, because you're wrong. Fountain drinks, period, never as good as anything else.
Oh, really? I don't. No, I disagree. Oh my god, I disagree with this completely.
A great fountain beverage is, oh my god, it's an orgasmic experience where
It
you
is,
get it and
you're
it's
right.
got the right base of syrup and the right base of the poppy
It's
carbonated water.
Syrup.
No, it's GIF. Anyways, you get there and you get it and it's awesome
Gyrup.
and it's sweet and it's amazing and that's what it's about.
I mean, again, I'm not trying to hate on it because I do feel like there are places, McDonald's, that make excellent, reliable fountain beverages where every time it doesn't
Do
matter
you
what
feel the
McDonald's
new
you're at, it's
robot
gonna
touch
taste the same.
machine is
The freestyle machine?
I don't like it.
Those things have issues.
Okay.
They have issues. They
I don't
do.
like it.
I'm gonna
Too
be
complicated.
real. I don't think it's, I like
Talking about
that
the
you get
giant red
options.
ones that have
Yeah,
the
you hit the
touch
button,
screen.
you touch
Where I'm like,
those are shit.
Where I'm on a fucking spaceship, like can I just?
But the problem is, it's just all the mixing. I don't like when it's not reliable, and it's not reliable anywhere except for specific places. Like McDonald's has their their shit down. They know what the fuck they're doing. But then with the ice and all that, they're already watered down. The mixture's already off. So I'm like, whatever. I'd rather it be cold because then at least the cold brings back some of the bonus points for making it a perfect drink.
I don't know. I just feel like there comes a time like how cold do you need it?
As cold as humanly possible.
It just doesn't make like when you turn on the water on cold on the fountain, you just I filled this bottle like 17 times. It's cold enough.
No,
it's plenty cold.
Absolutely not.
I want it to be so cold I can't taste it.
But why?
Like
I don't get this either. As somebody who doesn't even drink that much soda, when I do want a soda, what I do is like when we go to the movies, like when we saw Batman v Superman like a million times, I wanted to treat myself. So I got the cherry Coke. And all I do is it's just like I feather the ice thing. Because I want maybe a fifth of it to be like on the bottom.
Too much.
You know what I mean? Just feather. And it goes down there.
Well, no, but then I mean, it depends on how long. It depends on how quickly you drink the soda. And
No,
we all
because
know
I'm
that
with him.
I drink
that
a lot of liquids.
I
very
wanted
quickly.
a little bit cold, but I don't understand this desire to have it ice cold unless you've been working out, and we know none of us have been doing that, and then go and get a
God,
Coke.
No, why would we? No, I like to get the world's biggest Coke or Diet Coke rather when I go to the movies, and I like to suck it down as quickly as possible. But it does take time. And over time, that's where the ice starts to be advantageous. Is when you're through the previews, if you're still sipping that thing, because it goes room temperature fast. It's not like it's frigid in the theater.
Sure.
You're sitting next
What
to
is
a
actually cold enough? Yeah.
Well, it's cold enough, but like for Batman v Superman, right? We're all crammed in there,
Sure.
next to each other. Your Coke's right here. It's really close to the body warmth. You're talking about exothermic reactions.
You are talking
Endothermics.
about that.
Love
endothermics.
Gamma radiation.
Gamma
Your
radiation.
radiation.
Yeah, that stuff's getting warm, and there's nothing on this planet worse than a warm drink of soda. It is disgusting.
Now you understand, of course, Colin Moriarty will buy a 2-liter and it will never see the inside of a fridge.
Well,
Now,
but I buy
fine
it
with
cold.
that
But
if you
I
pour
don't
it
drink
over
it.
ice.
But I don't drink it warm. I get it out of a case. That's not true.
But it's going to room temperature quick.
Yeah, it is. But I'm never gonna. First of all, once you crack the seal of a 2-liter, you have 2 to 3 hours max, and then it's done. It's over. I don't care how you drank one cup of it. I don't care.
I've seen him out the next morning. There's like just a cup out of that 2-liter, and I put it back in there, and a week later it's
This
still
whole
there. He
conversation
won't touch
stresses me out.
I don't like 2 liters are the worst because you don't have it is a ticking time bomb. The minute you fucking twist that cap off and you hear that, you have 2-3 hours max, and then that Coke is
You know
finished.
you're supposed to screw the top back on.
No,
when
you
you're
do.
done
It doesn't
pouring
matter. Doesn't matter. It's over.
Totally matters.
It's totally over. It's like when you drop a Coke too hard and like it's finished even before you open it. Like you ever do that where the Coke gets so tense, like you can feel the bottle, you can barely squeeze it, and you can be very patient, but even then, it's never the same.
It's not.
It's never the
It
same.
becomes fountain Coke.
Now, let me ask you a quick question about exothermic energy. Wouldn't it be exothermic if the ice only stayed the same? So it's exothermic even if the ice melts into water?
Isn't it a perspective thing where if you're looking at it?
Do you think either of them know what the fuck they're talking about on this one?
I mean, they both know a little bit, and they're trying to bring it together.
Okay.
Isn't it?
I'm talking to your mic.
The water.
The energy is being transferred from one thing to the other, right? Exothermic. But it's not happening. It's happening because of the melting water is literally mixing with the Coke. It's not that the energy from the ice cube is going into the...
No. It's the ice cube's coldness is going into the warmth of the Coke, and then also the opposite.
So, like, my main problem with ice a lot of times is that you'll get ice that tastes bad. I hate the ice that's disgusting.
That's
Also, it was Archimedes.
a whole other
Archimedes,
issue.
thank you.
That
But it's
bothers
part
me.
of the ice
No,
issue. You
no, I
never
get
know what
it.
you're going to get.
I
It's the
get-
same problem with
There's
the
so many
beverages.
issues with all of this because then we get to like what type of ice are we talking about? You know, we got those big old bourbon ices.
Oh,
My
the
good
King
Lord.
Cubes?
I love those motherfuckers.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Those things are great because they take a while to melt.
Yeah.
But then there's these there's the cubes, which honestly I don't really like the cubes. It's too hard, especially
Out of a tray?
I like filling the cup with the ice.
Yeah.
And I drink Coke and I get the refills fast enough that it's like I don't really have the watered down issue because I just fucking suck that shit down. Hopefully, lady's back already. She refills that shit, suck that shit down. It's never an issue.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then when you talk about the cubes, you fill that shit up. If you put a straw in, it's hard for the straw to kind of navigate through all the big ass cubes.
Yeah.
And that causes an issue because then if you get a break in the straw, you're going to be sucking. You can't get the maximum speed.
Well,
That's
I mean,
gonna
just
an
don't be
issue.
an idiot and don't stab that hard would be the answer.
Yeah, I hate when people are like,
No, but
Like,
but
you know,
I'm
jacking
not
that
talking
thing
about
in
I'm
there.
talking about like when it's trying to navigate through all the ice.
Yeah, I know. And I'm
but
saying
even then,
I can't.
straws are sensitive.
I
Greg.
don't think I've ever broken a straw because I've hit ice.
Yeah, but you don't have enough ice.
I have.
That's the issue. You're
Yeah,
not
you're
doing
only.
it
I
right.
mean, you've already admitted that you don't put a lot of ice in your sodas. So
But I
I'm
mean,
with
there's
Tim
been
here where-
years where I had to get to that point where you get the paper cup and the shitty ice and you get it and you're chewing on this ice and it's all disgusting. I know what
Well,
I'm
yeah,
talking
no,
about.
I mean, I'm with everyone. I think we can all agree that when the ice is not filtered properly, it can actually screw up the drink, and that is hazardous. That's one of the hazards of using ice. But I'm with Tim. I like to get it so when I'm looking at the cup, you can see the ice just poking up over it, and then fill that, because inevitably it's going to melt it a little bit the second the fountain beverage hits it, because the fountain beverage isn't ice cold. It's not coming out the temperature of ice.
No, it's not coming out the temperature of ice, but do you need it to be so cold?
Yes, because
it's cold when it comes out, and it's very cold when you put ice in it.
Eventually even out to a relatively cold soda. But if you don't put the ice base in there, like, it depends on where you're at too. If you're just grabbing a quick soda, you're running down the street, you suck it down. Maybe not. But if you're gonna enjoy your meal, you're having a burger, you're having fries, you're enjoying your conversation with Tim Gettys, you're staring into his baby blues, and you pick up that Coke, and you know from the second your clammy hand hits that warm cup that you're just gonna engulf a fucking warm swallow of soda into your mouth.
But how long is it sat there?
Spit it back up onto your fucking crotch. You just don't want to do it, man.
It's an issue, man. And this is my biggest problem with Asian food. I love Asian food. Chinese food, Japanese food, Thai food, Vietnamese
Stoked to see
food.
where this is going.
All of those things.
I know exactly where it's
fucking
going.
love these
I know
foods.
exactly where it's
They're
going.
the fucking best foods, right?
Farm.com,
But
sure.
guess what? Every single night, every single goddamn night, when Kevin's like, Tim, what do you want to eat tonight? And I'll say anything. It's never an Asian food. And he gets so mad at me. Why? Why is it not an Asian food? Because these Asian places only have Coke cans, and then they give you the goddamn little ass cup with a bunch of ice in it. And you're like, well, this is only going to last me so long. Great. You're giving me the room temperature Coke? This ice ain't enough. I need Sub-Zero to come through. I need Mr. Freeze to come through.
But if you're getting the little cup and you're pouring it in there and
first.
you're sucking it down so fast, that seems like a good
But
solution.
The ice isn't even enough. That's my problem with ice. Like, going back to it, I love ice. I think ice is the homie, but ice needs to step it up when it comes to making room temperature shit cold. Like,
You want
why?
it faster. You need super ice.
I
you're
need it to
asking
be
for
colder.
super
It
ice.
needs to be. I
You
need
gotta
super ice.
You gotta stir it so you get the exothermic reaction.
Well, that's
Now-
when the gentrification of the ice.
right. You gotta gentrify the ice.
You got to gentrify the ice,
ice.
as far as I understand. Now, ice has a place, and the place for ice is, of course, cocktails. Now, here is where, you want an ice cold beer. That's a different thing. Of course, you don't put ice in beer unless you're
You just want it out of the ice box.
putting
cold.
Bud Light over ice,
there are
which someone at this table does.
If I'm not mistaken, though, there's places in Europe where they do drink warm beer, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is a
Cask,
thing, right?
cask beers.
Yeah, they do a lot of things in Europe.
Okay.
But but
The subtext in that statement was like cherry. Thank you for that.
But when we're making a cocktail, like Eric Castro always says, the cocktail, when you're mixing it, doesn't become a cocktail until it hits ice. Like, and you mix it like in like the beaker or whatever.
Sure.
Then he's like, so an old fashioned doesn't really become an old fashioned until it hits the ice and you mix it and then you pour it over ice. So there is something there, like you want some of the melt in that. That is part of what makes the cocktail the cocktail. The balance of the old fashioned is complicated with Engo and with which is bitters, and with simple syrup, because it's not about how it tastes when you're making it, it's how it tastes after you mix it. It's the mixing and how long you mix it and at what temperature is like part of the equation. Right. So that's a more complex thing. But with fountain drinks, see, I've gained it's the small pleasures in my life, Nick. And one of the things I used to really enjoy, and I don't know if they do it anymore because I don't really go to McDonald's anymore, as Kevin likes to go, is
McDonald's.
that they have the little presets.
Oh, yeah.
And they, so I get the muscle memory of like, you're going to dip it in and put it up, right? And so half time I'm like, this is not the thing I enjoy. I'm like, no ice. And I'm like, oh yeah, and they dump it out, they just do it. And then they hit the button and it never fills up to where it should be. And then they take, because it's expecting there's going to be some displacement. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, got you, motherfuckers. And then they have to go and do those kinds of things again. And I'm like, you should be worrying about people like me, the minority, that don't want ice in their food or in their drinks. But it goes a step further. The greater pleasure I take is when I go out to restaurants, and we've all been there with me, where I say, no, I order first and I'm like, Coke, no ice. And then every subsequent person is asked if they want ice in their drink.
And it's
but
the worst
otherwise, they would never
because-
ask you.
I know, and they always fuck it up. You're that guy. You're the guy that ruins my dreams of them coming through with the fucking big ass cup of ice and the refills on point. No, because then they're like, oh, well, that guy didn't want ice. Maybe the rest of the group like doesn't really want that much ice. So then they give me minimal ice, and I'm like, great.
You really gotta start
ruined the
ordering
ice
last.
thing for the rest
You
of
gotta
us.
start ordering last. That's just the nature of the beast.
Well, and speaking of Europe, as far as I understand in my time there, I've been to Europe only 3 times, they don't put ice in their drinks there.
No.
God, I don't want to go.
And
I'm never
actually,
going to Europe.
this is part of the reason why I have such a love affair with ice, is because the first time I went to Italy,
And such a hatred for Europe.
there's that as well. When you go, you'll ask for a Coke and it comes out warm. They'll serve a lot of things warm. Not only will they do that, but like milk will be served warm in cereal. Like they have like warm breakfast cereal,
Well, that's your own fault. Don't be eating cereal with milk.
but they don't put. What should I drink?
You don't just in a cup by itself.
just handhold
dry.
that motherfucker.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
The cup in your mouth, and you have like a little.
And then just some of it spills out onto my beard.
No,
and it
you
stays there
don't.
all
You
day.
get one of the good Shakespeare's cups I got out there. You pack that in. You ask for the cereal in that on travel, and you can pull the sides in like that, and it's like you're a horse.
I don't want to go down this road, but I will. There's nothing better than ice cold milk in cereal.
You're a
There's
fucking
just
stupid idiot.
Nothing better.
There's
Ice
nothing
cold.
I'm
better.
hard. I'm
Oh.
fucking hard
Put
now.
the milk,
Refrigerated milk.
Put the milk in the fucking freezer
Oh,
and wait
no.
until right when it's slush.
Oh,
Put that thing into
You're
the,
disgusting.
into the Lucky
You are
Charm.
disgusting.
fuck.
No, it needs to be cold. It doesn't have to be ice cold, but it
I
has
don't
to
want
be
slush.
really cold.
Portillo, come here.
Really cold milk. You can't leave the milk out. I don't want the milk that's been sitting out at Starbucks for a while. I'm going to pour that in. No, it needs to be the back of the fridge. Very, very cold. If it's going on my Lucky Charms, only the best for my Lucky Charms.
Hey, I'm
Throwing
right
that
there
out
with
there.
you, man. I wish there was a milk ice. That would be really nice.
You could.
Somebody
You
get
can
the
freeze
fuck
that.
on this shit.
Well, I mean, you
I
could
don't
just put
trust
it.
that though.
Actually,
I don't
hold
trust
on.
that.
No. This just it was a thing on Reddit the other day that the new Finding Dory cereal or the tie-in, whatever
Yeah.
they're doing with it, is, and this is going to disgust everyone at the table. That's not you two. Is that they have it where they're giving you a Dory mold where you pour the milk into it, lock it in, put it in the freezer, and then you pop out a frozen Dory that you dump into your cereal. So then when you're eating, there's a fun little milk frozen motherfucker in there for you to find. This sounds like something you'd enjoy.
Interesting. I actually would like that.
It's gross.
You know what
That's
that
gross.
reminds
I
me
don't
of
know how
though?
I
Do you
feel
remember
about it.
in the maybe it was the late 80s, early 90s, a product came out onto the market that was a plastic ice cube. So it had liquid in
yeah.
the middle of it. You'd put it in the back and then
What a great idea. And you got it and just everything tastes like plastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything was
You got the-
plastic,
you
and
got
it didn't actually transfer the cold into the drink at all.
My parents had, probably at my urging, so I'm not blaming them. My
Exothermically?
parents had those cups, those plastic cups that had the water
in it, yeah.
and then the regular cup, and you put it in there. And then inevitably,
leak.
3 weeks in, you're like, oh, God, like I can taste the, oh, God. Like, am I getting sick?
I clearly remember drinking like half of the liquid out of that one of those when I was drinking out on a lemonade or something one day
Good Lord.
in 1989 or
Ice
whatever it was.
I honestly though, like to really kind of reiterate, ice is the homie. I'm so happy that it's in my life. Like the time I was a little kid, I realized I like cold drinks. I
Right.
like ice. It always makes things better. I like chewing on ice. Big
Yeah,
fan
chewing
of
on
that.
ice is good.
I do that all the time.
See, that's another bonus to the movie theater ice. Like the big fountain beverage with ice is when you're done with it. If you don't want more, you can be like in the hospital when sometimes you have an illness and they
You
can't
have the
give
ice
you water.
chips.
You get the ice chips. You got ice there, so you can chew on the ice for the rest of the thing. And a guy like me who has to pee a lot, that will extend out. Maybe I can get through the second act before I have to go
Because you're
to the
chewing.
bathroom.
I mean, we didn't even really talk about it, but there's the ice cubes. There's the
Yeah,
ice.
I was going to say, King Cube #1,
Okay.
squarish cubes.
Those
Number
Those are
one for me.
low.
Those
I
Number
don't like the
two,
square cubes.
I hate the little
Chipped
the banana ones like that.
The giblets.
The
Oh yeah, giblets.
the
No,
pellets,
no.
all this ice.
Pellets are good.
Garbage.
Pellets are great.
Fuck you.
Garbage
Pellets are
ice.
fucking awesome.
Nobody
Never
that
had
shit
the pellets.
that's
You've never had
fucking
pellets.
that is going that's
Not pellets like
totally
this.
melting
There's-
out.
no.
The crushed ice is garbage.
Well, crushed
the
ice-
worst is when you go to somebody's house and you put you put it in the thing and it pulls out of the ice it was gonna get and it's just like this fucking snow fucking
no, no,
blow
no.
shit
Crushed ice
garbage.
bullshit.
Crushed ice needs
The
to go.
crushed ice is bullshit. But I'm going to come to the defense of the pellet ice for one setting and one setting only.
Coolers.
When you're at a Mexican restaurant and you order the horchata, Kevin, am I saying that right? Horchata. Anyway, I went to Nick's Crispy Tacos and I ordered horchata and they give it to you with the pellets. Oh my god, it's like a half frozen milkshake.
It's great.
It's
Those
so
things-
good. Oh,
So fucking good. And the other thing about ice that I really enjoy was being little, take my action figures, putting them in cups, filling them with water, freezing those motherfuckers. Then they're in carbonite.
Okay,
There's a whole
that's cool. That's
storyline,
cool. I
plot
like that.
element
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on. And then the toys are never the same after that.
I
But-
remember Iceman
Largely 'cause they're made of
specifically, and I can't believe I know this because I collected X-Men figures for a while. When I was like in the early 90s, remember Iceman came with a little board, like his but you could fill it with water, then put it in the freezer, and then take him at like it was a little indent. You were supposed to be able to. He was like standing on real ice. You'd be able to push him, but you just push him and he would just fall down. So we're like,
Was
who
the
came up
ice
with these
supposed to,
fucking?
But in the
lubricate
commercial,
the
look
ground?
really
Yeah,
dope.
it's okay.
Okay. That makes sense.
I will say, so to me, I think ice is like, if we're up to me, people that put excessive amounts of ice in things should probably go to prison.
Interesting.
But or at least really be rehabilitated in some way.
Rehabilitated is where you start.
Colin, it's real cold.
And people talk about how global warming's bad, and it is, but like at least eventually we won't be able to
melting the
the ice won't be around anymore. Which is the rising sea levels and Long Island's going to disappear and all that
I
kind of
just
stuff.
don't like
It's fine.
You're saying you'll take all of that as long
Right.
as the ice goes away.
Right. In reality, winter's my favorite, and I love really cold weather and all that kind of stuff, and the snow and ice. I just feel like we're getting too involved with putting ice and everything. Not everything needs to be this cold.
I just hate the gamble of ice. We have a good thing going right now with those King Cubes in the freezer, but there's a couple ice trays in there that make the ice taste bad. I get bad tasting ice. I don't want that. I don't want to run that risk.
Are you using the filtered water for the ice?
No,
'Cause
only
should.
you two use the filter.
It makes it taste better.
That filter hasn't been changed in.
Nah, I changed it.
I changed it a month ago.
No.
It has a little red light that like beeps at you. You can actually
It
taste
gets
it.
really
I
angry.
want to throw that whole thing out.
No, we need the filter.
I'm gonna throw it out.
You're disgusting.
Well, we're gonna be gone in like a month.
I'm gonna throw it
But
away.
your water, it's not bad, but
That's
it does
fine.
have a particular taste to it.
Deliciousness.
I think I'm
And I
just used
think
to
it
it.
tastes a little bit like rust and zinc. I'm just throwing that out
You
there.
need a little rust. We all have our tetanus shot. Rust is fine.
I haven't had a tennis shot. And I'll play. I'm a daredevil. I like to play Portillo all the time. Bite me.
Oh, dog.
Come on, you little fucker.
Now, I just feel like
If
I don't know. I feel like
that.
that we have to recalibrate the need for ice.
Oh, is that
And
rust?
I feel
That's
like
rust.
the Europeans they don't do almost
Rings.
anything right, but they do the thing with with no ice very well. I appreciate being over there, and and they say you have to ask for ice, and they look at you like you're weird. I'm like, well, of course I don't. I'm one of you is what I say over there when I'm in Europe. When in Rome.
Oh,
and by the way, I'm kidding.
oui.
I'm kidding. Don't get mad at me. I'm only kidding about Europeans not doing anything right. You guys do some things right.
If we didn't have ice,
What,
we
like
wouldn't
surrender?
have vanilla ice. We wouldn't have ice cube.
Kidding.
We wouldn't have iced tea.
We'd have these people. They just have different names.
Yeah, but think about that, Greg. Think about how stupid you sound right now. What would vanilla ice be if he wasn't vanilla ice?
Vanilla hot dog.
He'd just be vanilla.
It's just vanilla. Great.
He'd,
So an ice cube
he'd probably
would
be
just
vanilla
cube.
snow because they would just be cold, right? Like
Greg,
I'm assuming that's where Vanilla Ice's name
The
came
song
from.
Ice
You're
Ice
cold.
Baby
Yeah.
would just be baby.
No, again,
That's not
because
worth
it would
it.
just be replaced. It would be
Hot dog, baby.
ding, 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 ding,
All right,
ding.
stop. Put some fucking relish on my hot dog.
All right, I don't think you talked to
Yeah,
the
good.
ice to that
Relish
level.
sucks dick, by the way. We can talk about that another day.
God, relish. I love relish.
No, you don't. Would you say you relish it?
I do relish relish.
I was thinking it, but you said it, and I appreciate that.
My topic. I want to know what's in your life that you thought never would be. I was thinking about this today. I'm 33 years old, reflecting on everything. My example, of course, Portillo, who's laid out on the floor over there.
Looks
Porty,
like he's
come
dead.
here.
He's dead.
All right. Well, Kevin was petting him with his foot, so I can understand why he'd want to hang out over there. But that's the thing. I never thought I'd have a dog growing up. You know what I mean? I was a cat person. I was going to be a cat person the rest of my life.
God damn it, Greg.
What?
You were a cat person?
Yeah, what? I was raised with cats, and cats are cool.
I was too. I am.
I feel weird about this overall. I feel like,
What do you feel weird about? Lay it
I
on
don't
me.
know. I think that 2016, I think it's weird that being a cat person is acceptable. I grew up in a world where cat people were weird.
But no, but I mean, we've taken that back. You know what I mean? It's another thing where, yeah, you think of old people and there are millions of cats, and you open the door and there's 40 cats on the floor, and that's something different. Enjoying a cat, I feel like there still are cat people and dog people where it's like you got to make a choice.
But how were you a cat person growing up?
My parents were cat. My mom was a cat person, so she had cats, and I was raised with cat, and then I got my own cats, and I had 3 cats, and there was cats in the house. That's how you're a cat. I don't mean I was wearing shirts with cats on them.
Got it.
That's the thing. By that I mean granted I make the fucking shirts about Portillo, but like there's way more dachshund pride in me, I guess, than there ever was cat pride. If that helps you out.
Got it.
Does that help you out? Does that feel
kitty
better?
pride.
Well, that's a different thing altogether. But yeah, there wasn't that. I just had cats.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed cats. So I always thought I would have cats in my life. Make sense?
Totally.
Okay. So then when I graduate, and the exes want a dog, and I'm all against it or whatever, I was like, you know what I mean? Then she
I know what you mean.
She forced me to go to this puppy love haven place out in Mexico, Missouri, now closed, rest in peace, big ups. But it was 30 minutes outside of town. So when we were driving out there, I knew I was getting a dog, even though I was like arguing against getting this dog. And she's just like, let's just go look. We walked in. There was a basset hound, but she had her eyes set on this fucking little teacup garbage dog that's like basically a skeleton that's never going to get bigger than the palm of your hand. It's got all the hair on it, and it's a disgusting dog.
These dogs suck.
These dogs suck. But her friend had one, so that's how this had started. So then I immediately started panicking and looking around the room, and I saw the basset hound. I'm like, this is an American dog. If I have to get a dog today, can we at least get an American dog? We started arguing about that, of course. Surprised this marriage didn't work out. Arguing about this, whatever. And then finally some lady brought in Portillo and put him down. And I was like, is that a wiener dog? And she's like, yes. And I turned to the ex and I'm like, if you let me get this wiener dog and we name it Portillo, I'm in. I won't complain. I'll help out. No big deal. And it was like, okay. And then I was in love with his wiener dog all of a sudden.
Makes sense.
And now here we are, 11 years later. He's fucking laid out over there. Lazy asshole won't even come over when you call his name because he's got pet with a sock. But it doesn't matter. I look at him and I'm just like, I never expected this idiot to be part of my life. This was never part of the plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get it, man.
That's what I'm talking about. That kind of where your life changes on a dime, where all of a sudden you're taking care of this thing. Just chilling out over there
Good Lord.
with its weird eyes. He's given the face too, where he's like, he's not sure if he's enjoying the pets from the foot.
No, he's clearly tortured by this. He's
letting it
clearly
happen.
something on Kevin's foot has paralyzed him or caused some sort of mental paralysis. And I can't say I blame him because I've never been close to Kevin's peak before, but it can't be a good environment to coexist in.
every day.
Don't tell people that, Kevin. They're gonna think I'm weird.
Oh my god. I have a bazillion answers for this. I feel like there's pretty much my entire life. I never thought I'd have the things that I have. I'm gonna start with girlfriend.
Never thought you'd have a girlfriend.
Being completely real, I remember being younger and being like, I can't see this actually.
But why?
Tim used to be
working out.
asexual though.
It was. I mean, it was just one of those things where just like I don't know. Growing up, it just never was really.
That's weird for me because like me growing up a fat kid playing with his fucking action figures through like middle of high school, still collecting them long after that. Yeah. I was like, one day I'll have a girlfriend. This will all work out.
Wait, you were playing with your action figures in high
Oh
school?
yeah, well, come on, that's part of my imagination. You know what I mean?
We've been on this before. It's on the story list, Colin.
Yeah, exactly.
Just wanted to make sure I'm hearing everything.
Yeah, no, totally. But that was a part of it. But I'm like, this will work itself out. You never thought that?
No, I mean, for me, and I'm talking about for a long time up until like high school era, I was like, yeah, I have a lot of friends, and like it was my standards are too high situation, and that's just like thing you tell yourself, which means you don't allow things to happen. It all worked out for me at the end, but like I do remember vividly thinking like, yeah, no, that's just not my thing. I have a lot of friends, and I'm cool with that, and I have a lot of girl space friends, but not girl friends. And then once you date people, you start casually doing this stuff, and it's like it's high school, middle school, it doesn't even fucking matter. Like this told me that I wasn't getting my slang on.
You weren't getting your slang on.
I mean, I was getting like
you're going on dates. You're holding
things were
hands.
happening. Whatever.
You remember Tim when we first met him, right?
Yeah, I remember Thug Tim. Yeah, Tim.
Well, I meant just when he had the name Pure One.
Oh yeah,
because like he was like all weird about everything.
There was a while where when Tim first came in, I was like, wow, this guy's really, really like really pure and innocent. Like, because next to me, I'm sort of a natural corrupting agent. Like if you put anything near me, my goal is to just like I'm gonna just take out the deep dark nastiness.
When I talk about you to other people, I always say you're like that black sludge from the Amityville Horror that was like popping out of the basement and like possessing people and making them do fucked up shit.
It's very accurate, Greg. No, when I met Tim the first time though, he had all these girls that would hang around with him.
Yeah, and
I was like, Tim, these girls are cute. Like you should try to be, you trying to hit this girl or what's up with that, right? And he'd be like, no, I'm not really into that. I mean, I like to go to church. I like to buy people presents.
Not true.
Tim was basically one of those guys that was. You got stuck in this weird you pigeonholed yourself in this weird spot where you would be like the unrequited love guy. Yeah. Where like you would like a girl for a very long time and then it wouldn't work out and then you'd be like, well, I guess I just never deserved to be happy. And then somehow, I don't know what happened to you. Something broke you in a good way. Where like you had one experience or two experiences where you're like, aha, maybe, just maybe, Nick was right. Maybe I should start following all of Nick's rules.
Without any details, I feel like, from what I understand, in a rough timeline of Tim's sexual awakening, it was like your bachelor party, where I feel like that was the first time stories came back where I was like, oh, old Tim wouldn't have done that.
See, there's a lot of common misconceptions going on. You're right about a lot of these things, but I was still like, I was joking about the slang thing. It's not that I was just like totally against anything. It was specifically sex that I had an issue with. Yeah, I was getting hand jobs left and right my entire life, essentially. God bless you for it.
So in many ways, the hand job is superior to sex, but we won't get into that now.
In what ways?
In ways that
name me two.
I'll name you two right now. One, it requires very little, if not zero, energy from me, so I can just lay back. And two,
but you could have sex that way too.
I don't feel. You've never been married. Two, I don't need to necessarily. Wait, what was the first? Oh, one, I don't have to exert myself. Two, I don't feel bad about how long it may or may not take.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Okay.
Because really, how hard is it just to do this for a while? Read a fucking magazine, bake a cake, talk to your mom.
What's that noise in the background?
What are you doing? You needing some dough? Yeah, Ma. I'm needing dough. What's up, Jamie Kennedy?
Why are you calling my mom?
Oh my god!
Wait! I call your mom sometimes.
Talking to your mom.
Your wife was talking to my mom while giving you a hand job?
Maybe.
God damn, kind of funny live fuck things up.
Kind of feeling that though.
Bringing people together. People loving people. That's what we do.
My mom's like, "Are you needing dough, D?"
She's like, "Yeah." Yeah, Mrs. Kennedy, I'm needing dough.
All right, so yeah, you didn't. It was just the sex thing you were against.
So you're getting hand jobs left and right. You didn't want sex.
I don't know. I just like for a long time in my life, I'll say taboo against sex
Had a
itself.
mental hang up about
Like, I'm not talking oral sex. Oral sex is totally free game. I don't give a fuck. None of this shit made sense to me. You made a joke about religion. Totally, that was not it.
I'm
at
joking
all.
about religion.
Yeah, like that was not a thing for me at all. So I hate buying people presents, but that I think that for a long time I just had some issue being like, all right, sex is okay with people that you're not like intimately connected with. Then once that was broken, and I'm like, all right, cool. But again, like I don't think there's anything wrong with believing that.
Sure, no.
So, but for a long time, that's how I was.
Okay.
I also used to not drink. Now I drink.
You do,
It's just
you do that
things,
a lot.
Things
Actually,
change.
now we've been
You
meaning
also
to talk
used
you
to
about
not do
that.
meth, and now you do meth.
That's true. There's so many things.
To each his own.
But with the girlfriend thing, it's just like you talking about the unrequited love shit. There's not even a handful. There's a couple of those stories. But a lot of the other people, it's just like I had friendships with these people. It wasn't like I was even trying to do that, or that. It's not even like that was an option, you know. So I think that.
But I feel like that was. I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't want to play your therapist right now, but I feel like that was a big reason why you didn't want to take that next step with other women casually, because you were actually mentally committed to some other girls.
yeah, that's
know?
fair enough.
And then
But
eventually,
again, it's like it really is. It's weird looking back on now because I'm like, why would I do those things? But or
That's
not
how
do
everyone
those
thinks
things.
though when you're.
But like I
looking
was
back on your life.
like blowjobs were totally fine with me, totally fine. So it was like even during that time. So
I mean, let's be honest. They're blowjobs. They're awesome.
they are. I know, but anyways, going back. I don't know how-
Who'd you look at? Look at all the 4 people out there that are watching that agree with me.
But I the girlfriend thing up for a long time because all my friends had these like, and yet that's the context I think is really important. My closest friends had girlfriends from the time they were like 13 that are still lasting.
Yeah, Colonel met
Colonel met
Shari when he was like 4.
Yeah. So
Didn't even know what each other's dirty parts were, but they grew to figure it out.
Exactly.
From what I understand.
So
I don't wanna blow
all
them
of my friends had these relationships that were like, you know, perfect Disney tales, right? And they just fucking lasted. Whereas I was just like, I'm not gonna have that. So it's not so much
Gotcha.
the girlfriend.
That
It's
makes
more
sense.
like
That makes sense.
the real girlfriend. Like I'm in a committed relationship. And I was just like, man, that's just not how I roll. I'm too Tim.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the thing. I was unrelentlessly Tim. I'm sure you guys can imagine.
I can
still
imagine
am.
what Tim is, yeah.
But then I found somebody that understands that and likes that, which is pretty cool. Shout out to you. You're dope.
What up, Gia?
Dope.
Nick, what do you have in your life you didn't expect?
Kevin. I would never have expected in my entire life that I would spend this much time with Kevin Coelho. I met him once on a job I was doing for a friend. I brought him aboard to help PA for the art department on the shoot. And he was really well-spoken. He was quiet, and he worked really, really hard, and he didn't give me any shit. And I'm like, this Kevin's a nice guy. And I even told, he was very, very supportive of everything I would do. He was like, hey, Nick, I really like talking to you. You're a really nice guy, man. You really inspire me. And I was like, Tim, this guy Kevin's awesome. I think I like him more than you. And Tim said, just wait. Just wait. And Tim, #Tim was right.
Yeah.
Because now there isn't a day that goes by that Kevin doesn't intentionally try to annoy me. Now it's just intentional. And he succeeds. And that hurts even more. That pisses me off even more. It's that I try not to let him get to me, but he gets through. He's like Vicky Vale, just working his way into the Batcave. You got it. You got it. You got it. Kevin. Which is, interesting that he's wearing a Batman t-shirt today. And I drew a picture of him as Batman on one of the postcards we sent out.
But he was like naked, right? Wasn't
No,
it?
he had underwear on. He was just
Okay.
kind of like, he was just like this. Hello. I'm from Peru.
No, Kevin's another good example, but I mean he's a current example, I feel, in our timeline, right? Where it's like when we all meet each other for the first time,
Yeah.
we have no idea this is gonna happen.
Oh yeah, I had no idea you were gonna be
But the
in my
amount
life.
of people who've tweeted me about like they're catching up on all the GameOverGreggy shows, and it's like episode 25 or 22, you tell a Kevin story, and I'm like, I gotta meet this Kevin one day. And then I remember the day where you're finally like, hey, can he come up? And I'm like, we're like trying to do oration. I'm like, I guess like it's weird to have just a guy here just doing. He came up and he was all quiet, and I was like, all right, weirdo, I don't know what's happening. And then now he's here all the time.
He used to be so quiet. Remember how quiet it used to be? Just think back hard for me. Spend some time today thinking about how quiet it used to be, and then maybe get back to that spot.
Kevin and I have a great fondness for Kevin. What I find with Kevin is that, I find this with a lot of people in my life actually, is that like the people I have, I don't want to say the most strife with because I don't think that's true, but like a certain tension with are usually the people I love the most.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way with and I don't mean that necessarily in relationships. I don't mean that with all my friendships either or my family. But like there are certain people in my life where I'm like the tension is because I like you, Doesn't mean I want to fuck you. Just means I like you.
Well,
I kind of want to fuck
Kevin's
Kevin.
case.
I would fuck Kevin. Sure. But so I want to give a shout out to Kevin. But there are two things that I'm thinking of here. Yeah, I think I would have. Both are kind of related to this. One is fans.
Yeah.
I always found it, I really didn't expect to ever be in this position. I was in the industry for a long time. I was writing at a major website. I ascended at that website to a high position and was in charge of things and really developed a fan base, I guess, through Podcast Beyond and IGN PlayStation, but also because I'm super curt. The things that people hate about me are also the things people love about me. And I've cultivated this really pretty large group of people that really love me. And I never really, I'm so appreciative of that. And I never really thought that would happen. And I'm always going to be uncomfortable with it. The bigger, I use that in quotes, the bigger we get and the more famous we get or whatever it is. And I use those terms lightly because we're a small YouTube outfit or whatever, but like where people know you, like I've been, with, out with Erin multiple times. I mean, Erin and I have been dating for a while now, but I've been out with her, I don't know, like on 5, 6, 7 occasions, just randomly where people know who I am. Like I'm sitting in a restaurant or I'm in a different city with her or like something like that. And they shake my hand and want pictures and stuff like that and thank me. And I'm like, that's so cool. Like, I really appreciate that we've done something that I've really touched people. And even though I really don't crave fame and would rather recede into the background and let other people take the fame and be in the background and write or, I want to be well, I don't mind being, well known, but I want to be well known for something fucking like, I want like a major novel one day or something like that. I want to be known. I want to be like a J.J. Abrams almost, where it's like you're known for being like not the force on the screen, but the force behind the screen. I don't use that in a double entendre with Star Wars, but you could use that in a double entendre. So like I really do. I'm very appreciative of that we've developed that. I mean, when really push comes to shove, millions of people have listened to what we've said, and there I would say probably tens of thousands, about 100,000 or more people out there in the world that really consider themselves fans of ours and fans of mine, maybe. And I think that that's pretty cool. So I never expected to have that. No matter, like, I joined the industry when I was 18 officially, and I was writing since I was 13 in the gaming industry. So I've been doing this for a long time, but I always wanted to be well known in my mind as a writer, but never did I think that it would get to this point where, we do Kind of Funny Live too. And I walk out and it's like a fucking critical acclaim or whatever. Like I actually do something that matters. So I really appreciate everyone for that. The other thing I want to say that I'm thankful for that I never thought I'd have is Greg. And what I mean by that is we often see, and I think Greg sees them too, but I don't know if we ignore them. We just get a lot of comments. Someone that you have such rapport with that you couldn't almost ever imagine not having something in your life that you do with them, which is why I think P.S. I Love You, bringing P.S. I Love You back actually kind of filled something that was missing, at least for me, in our lives, where it could just be something that he and I do together. When you really think about it, and I've said this in the past, I can think of maybe a couple of examples that rival the sheer hours that Greg and I have put into everything we've done together in the gaming industry. I don't know if there's anyone else, with the exception of maybe a couple people like Gersman and his partners or whatever, where it's like that you've done literally 500, 600, 700 podcasts with, 300 or 400 morning shows, sat next to the person for years, worked on the same channel, just have like an unspoken code between each other where we're mad at each other or happy with each other, we're in good shape or bad shape or whatever it is. Like that always kind of exists. And I always kind of like the messages we get where people tweet out like, look at this because look at their rapport.
That just happened with the last PS I Love You with the Mounds bit.
Yeah.
Where we broke into the Mounds song in like 2 seconds.
And I think that's something that's not something you build up to or even strive for, something that just happens. And I respect that has happened to me. I never expected to have that. I have great friends and Greg's certainly one of them. And I think that the thing is that Greg and I can go our separate ways one day and like not speak to each other for 10 years and get back together to do a reunion episode of PS I Love You when we're 50 and it's going to be exactly the same. Like it really won't change. And like, that's one of the cool things I know. That's why we always taught the story about Colin and Greg Live, which wasn't planned at all because we didn't have to. We never planned Beyond. We don't plan PS I Love You.
Yeah.
Like it just happens. And I think that that's some of the strongest content we do. So I think that there's something really kind of special about that partnership.
No, for sure. Like the thought it's similar to the Kevin thing where our first meeting or whatever is so crystal clear in my head of the Edna's Ichiban karaoke. Everybody thought you were going to suck. And then like being so drunk with you and Hillary at Denny's in that parking lot and being like, everybody said you were going to be terrible, but you're awesome. And you'd be like, no, but to their credit, I was a douchebag when I came here to be an intern. But it's the same thing in that vein of, I remember, graduating University of Missouri, leaving the Antler house and saying goodbye to all my roommates and walking out the door and crying and being like, man. And I was crying because it was the closing of that chapter. And I remember the distinct thought of I will never have this experience again. I will never live in a house with my best friends again. And because that shows you how different the world in Missouri was, where it's like, cool, now I'm getting my own place, and man, I should buy a house. Oh, what? My dream job's calling? I'll move to San Francisco.
Right.
Oh, wait, you're gonna live with people forever here, and it's gonna be like college all over again. So when we finally unified into one house with Colin, where it was like we work together all day long, we come home and live together. Weekends we wash each other's backs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's something special about it. Like I get tired of people and things really quickly, unless they're really important to me or I like to really do them. So like, you know, like I really like to write, so I'll never get tired of that. I really like to play video games, something like that. But if I'm around a person enough, I'm like, all right, enough. Like I kind of need space. I want to be alone. And if I don't need space from you, and there are certain people in my life I'd never need space from, really, then that says something about that person. It's like Ramon, that's like Aaron, that's like, you know, and that's like Greg. And the thing, the testament to this is that like I've never really ever even remotely felt the need. I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here because I need to get away from Greg. You know, like I need to not live here anymore because I need to get away from Greg. I need to not do the show anymore because need to get away from Greg. It's fine. Like even when Greg and I have disagreements, and I think that we've talked about it, I think our friendship is kind of, it's a little cooler and like it's
been put on the back burner.
Right.
Right now we are focused on being business partners, I think, more than we are focused on being friends. Because we do stuff here where we're working all day together and tempers do flare or whatever, or we have not a disagreement even, but we don't agree about something. It's like, cool, at the end of the night, it's not like, let's go out to dinner because we're inevitably going to talk about the same things we were talking about today. And I don't want to run it into the ground the same way when Christine and I broke up the first time when we were both working at IGN. That was the problem, right? Is that all day at IGN, we'd be IMing about problems with IGN, and then we'd walk home and talk about IGN, and then we eat dinner and talk about IGN. It was like, eventually, like, this is too much. So we do need those times. And now we're trying to find that balance.
Yeah, so I've always really appreciated that nonetheless, like we could get together and do Colin and Greg Live. It's great. We do PS I Love You. It's great. So I never expected that I would have that.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of cool. Like I don't know that I would enjoy doing this at all without you. And I don't think that I would do it actually without you at all.
Well, yeah, our relationship and our friendship and everything else, professional relationship is tied together in the way of like, you wanted to get off of Guides and you came to the PlayStation team, and I was part of that decision, helping you and being a bouncy board or whatever.
Yep.
Thank you.
Guides.
Sorry.
Yeah. I heard guys
I said
too,
guys.
but it's okay.
And
you were part of Guys.
You wanted to get off of Guys.
I wanted to get off of Guys. I was reluctant to get off of Guys. I mean, in a lot of sense, I do this because I do this because I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I do this because it's kind of funny because I think it's rewarding and we enjoy doing it. But there's definitely part of the equation. The pie chart is definitely I do it for Greg. You know, and like and
it's like how Homer did it all for Maggie. Remember that Simpsons reference? There you go.
Well, because I don't think that there would be something missing if it wasn't both of us. You know?
Oh yeah.
And so like,
I mean, kind of funny in general, right? Is one of the things. Wait, you never thought. I never ever was at IGN until we were well into doing GameOverGreggy everything, and it was like I never thought about I'm gonna break off one day and start my own company. I want to be a CEO one day. I want to have our own logo and this, that, and that was never a part of it. And that's what we always talk about, right? If it was just Colin and I who broke away to do this, Jesus Christ. Just all it would be us talking. We'd have no graphics. We wouldn't know anything.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not saying that with any disrespect to obviously the contribution of the other two. That's not what I mean at all. What I'm saying is that like that's definitely that's one of the linchpins for me is like this. We're older. We have options. We can do anything we want really if we wanted to. If you want to put your mind to it, I can go back to school. I can go write. I can go do anything. But I'm like I like to do this because I enjoy everyone.
Yeah.
And I enjoy what we do. But like I'm not ready to walk away from Greg either, you know, where it's like I'm not like that partnership means something to me. We've done
Brian Adams in my head right now. I don't know why.
Which one?
Like
everything I do.
Yeah,
like it's just like I'm proud of the prolific nature of like whether or not people like it or hate it. And I feel bad for Greg sometimes because I think that Greg would even be, or like the shows that we do would even be bigger if it wasn't for me because like I'm so polarizing. But Greg's never asked me to be anything but what I am. And
the only reason we have any fame is kind of funny is because we're authentic. So I know.
Yeah. I think that's true too. But like I often, I appreciate that no one's ever tried to like Greg especially never told me to like not say something to not, everyone's like, some people suggest sometimes that like, oh, like Greg must have get mad at Colin or whatever. And I'm like, as far as I know, I don't think so. I say whatever I want. Greg never told me not to. So I just appreciate that as well. But I also think there's some prolific nature, like some sort of like book of records kind of thing where it's like, we can literally do this for a few more years and be totally uncontested in terms of like sheer output of a partnership in the gaming industry.
Game duos.
Like period.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think is like really quite extraordinary. And it's not something I stop and think about very often.
Sure.
And I'm thankful for it. Like I'm thankful for our whole collection of 5 people and hopefully we grow into more in the future. But I would not be here without Greg. And I would not have been on Beyond, and I would not have been on IGN PlayStation and all those kinds of things. So Greg really runs that pantheon in a way of the people that have helped me along the way. And so as thankful as I am as Mark Ryan, Selly, and Chris Carl, and Per Schneider, and all the people that gave me opportunities, certainly you'd have to throw Greg into that mix as well. And probably really the most important and relevant in terms of what we do today. So that's my two, I guess I should say.
I liked them because it was about me, see?
That's good.
Thank you. This topic was brought to you by Loot Crate. Loot Crate is a monthly subscription box service for epic geek and gamer items and pop culture gear. For less than $20 a month, you get 48 items that include licensed gear, apparel, collectibles, unique one-of-a-kind items, and more. Make sure to head to lootcrate.com/Greggy and enter the code Greggy to save $3 on any new subscription. Loot Crate is more than just a subscription box service. It's an entire community of fans that share their experience and interact with each other around the unboxing of each month's crate. June's theme will be exploring some of the ways things can go wrong with dystopia, featuring classics RoboCop, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and The Matrix, and new favorites like BioShock Infinite and Fallout 4. We've got a figure, cool collectibles, and of course, our dystoporific monthly tea.
Don't push him toward me.
Remember, you only have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate. And when the cutoff happens,
Jack.
that's it, Nick. It's over. So go to lootcrate.com/Greggy and enter the code Greggy to save $3 on your new subscription today. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Game Over Greggy Show. Thank you so much for joining us. If you didn't know, each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather around this table, each bringing a random topic discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny where you can toss us a few bucks, get every episode early, get exclusive episodes, and get a whole bunch of cool perks. If you have no bucks to toss our way, no big deal. Head to youtube.com/kindafunny where you get the show topic by topic, day by day, until the entire thing posts as one big MP3 and video. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
What's happening on the internet? Everybody grab their phones right away.
There's some stuff happening.
Is it
It's
involve
not
Obama?
important at all. No.
Obama?
Lockmort made a
I'm
new
trying to
video
send
about
Tim this picture of Kevin that I took.
Man, he is certainly lounging.
You see what I'm saying? It's like I can't tell which one of them is working less, Portillo or Kevin.
You should have seen him during Colin and Greg Live today.
He put his feet, on the table.
It was out of the view.
You had Lola in your lap, too.
And
though,
I'm
so that's why you gotta wear
like
this.
next door is our tips, and you're just sitting there, like just staring it off into space.
You gotta give him like a recliner.
No,
that you
he'll
work out
fall
of and he'll
asleep.
just fall asleep.
The
there.
worst, but you're also the best.
Trust you with everything, trust you with nothing. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.